We got this video from Clown World on Twitter. Clown World posts a lot of videos, and oh boy, another reaction video, but this one warrants it for sure. In this video, a trans woman goes into what looks like maybe a Popeyes and starts yelling at one of the employees because the employee called them sir. The employee denies it, and then all of a sudden, everyone starts losing it. There's fighting, there's yelling. I think you should see it so we can talk about the issues affecting society and the trans community, and also point out one very important thing for all of this. In the real world, where you touch grass, well, in this instance, pavement or tile flooring, regular people don't know anything about pronouns. And the reason I want to show this video is because people keep saying that the manager is like, oh, okay, sir, I'm sorry. And they're like, stop calling me sir. And it's like, okay, sir, I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, just like with Super Ma'am. Remember that? Super Ma'am. It was a very large trans woman, discernibly biologically male, yelling at a GameStop employee who was stuttering and stammering. I'm sorry, sir. Don't call me sir. And then slapping things and yelling and screaming. Yo, that 20-year-old dude who does not live on Tumblr or Twitter does not know what you're talking about when you say, call me at this pronoun. Let me play for you this video. So, and we'll break it down. We'll go through it.
Here, it's like every single day, you guys, and this is why I complain about all the time. Look, what's his name? What's your name?
My name's
Alex?
Tommy.
Yeah, your name's Alex, and I'm gonna be talking.
He said, my name's Tommy. And he goes, yeah, your name's Alex. Like, wait, what? Anyway.
Your manager, this guy called me sir. This happens every fucking day. Everywhere I go.
He's saying, I certainly didn't. And the trans person saying, everywhere I go.
I get called sir. I'm so fucking tired. Why would you call a chick big ass tits? Fucking. Why would you call?
I didn't say.
No, stop trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy. Crazy. You need to fucking be mindful of other people and stop being a fucking scumbag. And you're a liar. I heard you. Stop fucking gaslighting trans people.
And they're leaving, but then all of a sudden,
wait, what?
Turn back around.
Did you call me sir again? What was that? You said goodnight, sir? Alex, I'm gonna be talking to corporate about you, you motherfucker. Fuck you. Okay? That's bullshit. You don't fucking harass trans people at work. Yeah, you did. And I'm walking out and you're like, have a good night, sir? What the fuck is that? No, you don't fucking do this to trans people. This is discrimination.
I didn't say.
No, this is discrimination. I'm fucking done with it.
Whatever, go cry.
Whatever, go
No,
cry.
I'm gonna talk to corporate about this. You don't harass trans people.
Get out the store.
Hey, you know what's
Get
one
out
of the
the
stupid
store.
things when you're catching Karens?
I didn't even say nothing.
You called me sir.
He's like, I didn't even say nothing. Get out of the store.
And you're talking shit, calling me sir on the way out. This is transphobic harassment.
Oh my
You're a
God.
fucking bigot
Oh my
at work.
God.
All right, Alex, you know what? I can't wait to just... He admits twice calling me sir. No, you lied about the first one. No, you called me sir twice.
I'm going to stop right here and just say the person filming this is mentally ill. And I say that with empathy and concern. To go into a Popeyes and start yelling because someone used a word against you. Let me tell you something, guys. It's going to be hard to hear. But sometimes when I walk down the street in places like New York, I hear people yell mean things at me. You know, I should, you know, I'll tell their manager, you know, you can't harass me. I get death threats. We have bomb threats. And these people's lives are so immaterial and their experiences day to day are so inane. The only thing they have to latch onto is someone said a word once. Yo, sir isn't even an insult, man. I've had people at restaurants, I get into arguments with people. I go to a restaurant 10 years ago, whatever, and I'm like, I want a cheeseburger. And they're like, right away, man. And then they come back and they give me a cheeseburger. I'm like, yo, you made this wrong. I'm like, how did I make it wrong? And I went to a McDonald's once. Let me tell you a story about my fast food experience. I go to a McDonald's and I ordered a double cheeseburger for $1. Just one little old dollar. No big deal. And I said, I want a double cheeseburger with pickles, ketchup, and mayonnaise on it. Actually, I think I ordered 2. And then I leave. I get home, which is like 2 or 3 miles away, and I open it up and they put mayonnaise on top of the burger. Like it must have been an accident. I don't know what happened. So I call up and I'm like, look, I'm going to eat them, but like, there's like a bunch of mayonnaise on the top of the bun. I guess I can't even flip it over, yo. And the manager was like, how much, what did you order? I was like, it's 2 burgers, man. It's not that big of a deal, but like, I don't know, you know, I don't know. It's kind of nasty. And then he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Tim. And he's like, come back whenever. We'll give you 2 more burgers. And I'm like, I don't really know if I care all that much, and I don't want anyone to get in trouble. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just drove. I'm hungry. It's lunch. And so here's what happens. I drive back the next day, and I pull up, and I'm like, yeah, I talked to the manager. I think his name was Brian. He said to let you know my name's Tim, and you've got 2 burgers that are made right for me. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's $2. And so they say, pull up. I pull up, and the guy starts yelling at me. Some random dude was like, what's your name? And I'm like, Tim's like, no, we don't have anything for you. And I was like, huh? And he was like, do you have your receipt? And I was like, I don't know, man. I called the manager. His name is Brian. He said just to come by. He said he put it in his office and just to say my name. And the dude starts giving me the business and yelling at me and insulting me, calling me a con artist, trying to rip him off. And I'm like, what's happening? It's just 2 burgers. And I paid for it. Legit. No lie. Like, I ordered the burgers, and like, I guess what happened is they got mayonnaise on the wrapper. So when they wrapped it, I opened up, there was a gob of mayonnaise on it. I'm like smearing it off, and I'm like, you know, and normally most people probably just don't care, and they're like, whatever, I'll just eat it. But I'm like, no, dude, like, hey man, this is kind of like, it was both burgers. That's why I kind of felt like maybe somebody did it on purpose. So here's what happens. The dude's yelling at me. I didn't cry about it. I didn't freak out. I didn't start stomping around. I can't believe it. I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave. I'll call back later. I called the manager back. He came into work the next day or whatever. And I'm like, hey dude, like, look, I live not that far away. This is like the McDonald's I go to. And I came back and they yelled at me and like were insulting me and calling me names. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and the manager goes, it's $2. And I was like, I know, man. I was like, I could have just bought 2 burgers. It wasn't a big deal. I don't even know why I bothered calling in the first place. I mean, look, granted, this is back in the day. I was like 20 years old. I was making $10 an hour. So it kind of mattered that I bought lunch. And it was like $2.87 or whatever, $2.40. And then like I got nasty food. And I'm like, bro, I don't make enough money to just, you know what I mean? Like, do it right. And the manager told me anything under $5 we just make. It's no big deal. Like, why would this guy yell at you? I'm not going to cry about it. But here I am, like almost 20 years later, talking online about these people screaming. And here I am telling a burger story. This is how insane life has become for so many people. Could you imagine if I took up my phone to, I'm filming you calling me a con man, give me my burgers.
Twice. Yeah, but you shouldn't be fucking harassing people with slurs. It's a slur. Do you not
It's a
understand?
slur.
It's like if you call the person of color the N-word. Don't.
It's like if you called he said it's like if you called a colored person the N-word. That's what he said. Isn't the phrase colored person offensive? It's person of color.
Fucking. You did on the way out. I don't care.
But I never.
I have the right to be pissed about it.
No, you don't.
You fucking
You really
did.
don't.
I said I'll lock the
Okay,
door.
wait, actually, hold on. You do have a right to be pissed about it. You're allowed to be angry about anything, to be honest. But calm yourself down and exit the premises.
Fucking did, you liar. And I'm gonna hold you accountable. Cis people need to be held accountable for how they treat trans people. And
Cis people need to be held accountable for how they treat trans
I'm not gonna
people.
put up with this shit anymore.
You're crazy, bro.
You're fucking.
You're crazy, bro.
Don't call me fucking bro.
Dude, this has nothing to do with the person being trans, mind you. This has to do with the fact that people say bro to anybody. Like, people will say bro because bro doesn't refer to the person. It's just like, bro, did you see this? You're crazy, bro.
Stop fucking throwing slurs at me, you fucking piece of shit.
Have a good night, sis.
No, fuck you. I ain't your sis. I ain't your
crazy,
fucking
bro.
bro. You don't even fucking know me. Oh, you want to flash gang signs at me?
Flash gang
All right. Yeah, fuck your ass.
I don't think the dude at Popeyes was flashing gang signs, dude.
Oh, you want to talk about sucking dick now? Why is it that you fucking weird cis people are so obsessed with sex? You have fucking discrimination going on, and your brain goes to fucking dick sucking. Don't fucking call me sir. This is transphobia. Right here at the Popeyes.
man.
Yeah, you know, you ever heard blasphemy, motherfucker.
I feel
Fuck you.
bad for, I think there are a lot of trans people. We've had on the show several and are friends with several, and they don't act this way. This is the crazy thing. I think what happens is there are people who are unwell who do act this way, and then they just make everybody look bad. What did this person say? Cis people need to stop harassing trans people. He said, you're crazy, bro. Don't call me bro. And the guy goes something like, he says like, okay, sis. And he's like, I don't need your sis. Like, there is no solving a situation like this. But what I can say is I'm glad that I was able to produce a segment in which I told a story about how I once got 2 free cheeseburgers. Thanks for hanging out, I guess. But in all seriousness, there's no point in my life where that story like really matters to me all that much. There have been several instances in my 37 years where I've had food orders messed up or been disrespected by people who work at fast food, and I just leave. If you go to a fast food restaurant and someone's giving you the business, you don't want to eat the food they hand you, okay? If you go to a restaurant and someone's giving you the server is being mean, you probably shouldn't eat the food they're giving you. For the most part, I don't think they're ever going to screw with your food. Like, there's no reason to commit a felony because someone said nasty words, but you never know, man. People are crazy. This is just an example of, man, our society is unwell. Unwell. This person goes in wearing a mask, demanding to be called ma'am or something. Yo, I have people call me tons of slurs. I've been called racial slurs. What are you going to do about it? Someone said a word. Carry on. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all then.